My name is Lorianne Love, a freshman at Kent Mountain View Academy in Washington State. It has come to my immediate attention as not only a student going through it, but a friend to a senior in another part of the state, that this system of online continuous learning is not working. I have a strong belief it is worse than just making us retake the grade or quarter. You wouldn't settle for a law that only works for a handful of people versus the majority of people. A lot of this online learning we are doing, at least for my school, was merely slapped together in 2 months. And even then, with that time, we don't even have an official grading system. In those 2 months, we weren't doing anything to continue our learning. It was all optional, and well, we're teenagers. Would you really expect teens to choose something greatly considered boring over something fun and exciting like a game? This logic applies to our current situation as well. Self-control is something we need to learn to do, however, it's something we don't have. Procrastination is common as well, and when we procrastinate, when we miss assignments, it affects our mental state. I speak from experience that the guilt of not even doing a single small assignment sends me into debilitating stress. It's not just me either. I'm in high school and I've seen friends cry over an assignment because of how hard we push ourselves. We want to be great. We have that innate desire to be the best, but at what cost? My generation has seen steep climbs in cases of depression, anxiety, and suicide rates. Telling us to get over it, that everyone goes through it, is frankly a lame excuse at help. We scream for help and no one hears us. Aren't we one of the many generations inheriting this world? How come we are treated as if we don't have minds of our own, as if our emotions and our needs don't matter? We resent adults, even our older siblings, because we aren't treated fairly. Why is it that those who are out of the system and have been out for years and even decades have been molding it? The changes that are made are not the ones we need, and yet no one asks us. We respect those who are trying, who are honestly and truly trying, for our sake, but they don't understand. Back on the topic of online school. Sure, there are schools that are doing a good job with it, but there is only so much you can do online. My point I'm making is that with our current system, this doesn't work. Surely the crisis of students cheating on tests and assignments is something you are aware of. It's not just little kids or high schoolers. College students do it. Even companies do it. This becomes 100 times easier when we aren't in a classroom, when we do it online. Taking that into account, how can we possibly keep our learning going when we aren't in a classroom? Maybe instead of making it just papers and assignments that have been used by all teachers all across the country, make it an actual learning experience. I've learned more in a 2 or 3 hour trip to Banks with my dad than an entire week of doing continuous learning. Here's another question for you. Why aren't we learning life skills? Math obviously would help with bills. Science and health class for keeping us safe and healthy. Yet, are we even taught how to pay our bills? What about our taxes? Will we only learn about mortgages when we are buying a house or a car? Why are we expected to be adults but aren't taught how to be them? Thrown into the real world after the bubble of high schools popped at graduation. My friends would agree with me, and even those who may not know of me, that learning how to do advanced math isn't as important as those skills we will need for the rest of our lives. Would it make sense to give a plumber medical instruments and tell them to perform surgery, or even the other way around? That's essentially what taxes and bills are to those newly graduated students. You wouldn't want to go to another country without being prepared first, so why do that to your children? Don't get me wrong, lots of information we learn in school is important, but most of what we are taught doesn't benefit us anymore. Take ELA for example. Constantly reviewing Shakespeare, writing compare and contrast essays on dystopian novels. I understand the utility of being able to find the differences and similarities between things. However, I don't know why it is something we learn again and again every single year. As far as I am aware, the most I need is to be able to write formally for any normal job. Essentially, what I want to say is that something needs to change. Most would rather have credits be given to them or we retake the quarter that was missed because at this point, anything we do regarding school online seems worthless. If we are all taught like factory workers, we will just continue the year where we left off on the assembly line. It's all numbers that matter to those running the schools anyways. How many children can we get into each class? How many can we put into advanced classes to be called one of the best schools in the state? Give me a single reason as to how ignoring the needs of the people who are going to take care of you when you are sick makes them any better. The only reason we push ourselves is because we are told that A's are great. That we get praise for a letter or a percentage than what we did our assignment on. Because after all, it's that number that matters, right? Not the person who wrote the heartfelt and informed essay, or the one that had given insight onto how maybe we could make the world a better place. But, oh, we just needed another 100 words to meet the minimum requirement. It is shameful, honestly. Those adults who are supposed to be our role models are ignoring us. Have you heard Gen Z humor? We constantly joke about killing ourselves when someone says, "I want to die," everyone else says same, and we keep going as if it's normal. Take someone from 50 years ago and bring them into the fray of today's youth. Would they say it's normal, or would it be shocking? How come the mental health of youth has become increasingly less important? We are numb to the world. We hear about those school shootings, know they could happen to us, and we only wait. Ask those who were former students, those who committed those homicides. They'll tell you the school system did them wrong. We are the ones teachers are supposed to help, yet teachers yell at us, demand we do ridiculous assignments, demand we get 5 projects done by the next week on top of homework, on top of class assignments, and still have time to complain that we don't take them seriously. Adults are given the ability to relax at home when they get home. We take school everywhere, to the point that a vacation for our parents becomes a nightmare to us because we can't relax. We can't just leave our work at school because it goes everywhere we do. Respect is not a right. It is a privilege. We were taught this as children, to always respect our elders. But like the old saying goes, I wouldn't jump off a bridge if you did. I'd have no sorrow or sympathy for you as you never had any for me. Treat us with the respect we deserve. We'll take care of you when you're too old or too sick to take care of yourself. Kindness and compassion are what we need in this world. And if you can't take the time to see the pain and destruction that you've caused, or that others have, then we can't take the time to see to your needs while we clean up and fix the damage that could have been prevented by simply listening. As my final words, this letter clearly wasn't about the troubles and difficulties of online learning, but also the needs of the state. No, the need of the country and the world to listen to their youth and pay attention to them. We are those who will take care of the world when you are gone. But right now, we need your help and support to do that. But currently, we aren't getting that. Sincerely, Lorianne Love.